Just really weird how people will do things
to get a thing that you can't buy.
It's a GPT, a general purpose technology. There have only been 8 in our history. The first one was he added a coffee mug that said "Kiss the copywriter" and got a 4% bump on a $2,000 offer with a $2 coffee. If you look at Domino's Pizza, Domino's doesn't mean anything when it comes to pizzas. What's a domino have to do with pizza? But they had a nice icon. Everybody remembered the word domino. And they had a great tagline. Hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Maybe the greatest tagline ever written in the history of tagline. I cannot over-exaggerate the impact of this technology on all of humanity.
Would you agree that there's going to be a massacre of livelihoods?
I cannot over-exaggerate the impact of this technology on all of humanity.
Yeah.
It's a GPT, a general purpose technology. There have only been 8 in our history. That the first one was that kind of big one, fire. There was fire. There was the wheel. There was the steam engine. There was electricity. There was telephony. There was computers. There was the internet, and
the industrial age. You missed like the largest.
Well, I said the steam engine.
Oh, you did.
Steam engine, industrial age. But there's only been 8 of those in really all of history, and we're living surprisingly in 2 right now. You're living in the AI age, and robotics is right on its heel because the AI is a brain in a jar. It can't actually do anything without being connected to a robot, either a soft robot or a hard robot.
You actually answered a lot of these questions while you were just talking. Would you agree that there's going to be a massacre of livelihoods? Can I answer that before you do?
Sure.
I think that there is going to be a massacre of livelihoods, but I think there's going to be 2 kinds of people. There's going to be people who refuse to learn and refuse to adapt that are going to be in trouble. And I think there are people that are going to learn to master AI, and as many jobs as it takes, it's going to give. Just as in the
it's just a matter of the equilibrium of that. It will definitely be out of equilibrium for some time.
Yes, but it's going to take some time. You have a McDonald's next to your house.
With no people in it.
With no people in it.
Except customers, pretty much.
Everything is robots.
Yeah.
Everything is AI. Everything is robots.
Fast food's going to be vending machines. They're big vending machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you see more and more of it. It is interesting, but we don't want those jobs anyway. That's a thing.
We don't, but and forgive me, you can come at me in the comments all you want. People work in fast food are skillless people. So when skillless people don't have an ability to have an income, it creates a type of drain on society, as well as increases crime, as well as. So while we don't want those jobs, we didn't want to be picking strawberries or dig ditches either, but it needed to get done. The impact on the economy and humanity would be great. So
the economy is going to be, in my opinion, the economy is going to be so robust that there will be a lot of spending from the top that the down gets, right, to some extent. There will almost surely be a universal basic wage, whether anybody likes that or not. No matter if you like it or not. It's probably going to happen because if you don't, you got 38% of people without a job.
You've already got people working, flipping hamburgers, making $20 an hour.
The worst we've ever had in the history of America is 25% unemployment during the Great Depression. You're about to be faced with 38% potential unemployment.
But while companies are reporting record profits.
Right. But what's interesting, if you don't listen to Naval's really brilliant, but he said something the other day, I was listening, and he said, there's an abundance of knowledge available to all of us today. But there's a great shortage in the desire to learn.
Oh, wow, that is so good. That's a writer down.
Most people that I talk to about AI that are in the private sector that aren't in our space, they just don't care. They just don't care at all. They have no interest. My kids don't care at all. I can show them how to do certain things, and they're like, yeah, okay.
I got 2 that are like, and I got 2 that are just all, like, my 2 engineers,
of course, are all in. Right, yeah.
I got 2 engineers that are all in, and I got 2 lazy asses.
But there's going to be a great division between the people who learn to use that and the people who don't.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to have, the big difference is going to be, how do I say this? Gosh, if you look at people that grasp the internet early,
right, Right.
What happened to them?
Right.
They did extraordinarily well.
They did extraordinarily well.
The people that grasped it late.
People who were average that grasped the internet early did incredibly well.
Any average person can ride the wave of a new technology and do extraordinarily well. There's a guy in our business, I'm not going to say his name, but I've known him forever. He's a goofus. He is just a goofus. But he's always on the next thing, right? And the other day, I got a call this morning from somebody said, I just went to work for this guy. And I said, yeah, I know that guy. He's kind of a doofus. He said, yeah, but he's killing it right now. He's doing this thing with AI and they're building this thing. And they're doing like $1 million a month. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's just like if you give me a machine gun against a bunch of soldiers with pea shooters, guess what? I'm going to mow them down. I got the technology, right? So it doesn't really matter. Your skill level is going to matter far less. The quality of the questions that you ask, are going to be one of the biggest determining factors of how well you do in this next round, and how quickly you adopt and stay a couple of steps ahead. I bought a robotic arm for my house so that I can learn how to program G code for robotics. I don't own a robot right now, but the estimate is within the next 3 years, the average home is going to have 3 in the home, 3 robots in the home.
I'm
so
excited for
3 robots in the home. So I'm
excited for it.
We won't be doing anything that we don't want to do pretty soon. You're talking about like a $20,000.
I don't do anything that I don't want to do now.
$20,000 price tag, and that's going to plummet because there's a $6,000 Chinese competitor out there that's almost as good for $6,000 today. So you're going to see these things they're going to be like robot vacuum cleaners before long. I think
we have robot vacuum cleaners now.
They're going to be
literally called robots.
They're going to be as common as robot vacuum cleaners.
Sense. But you already have that. So you have that in vacuum cleaners. You have that we own that company that does lawn services that drops stuff off. You have all that now. This is going to be so much bigger than that because this thing's going to be able to chop onions, cook your food, grab your groceries, put them away. You're going to be able to download. This is the part that if you haven't gone to the Gigafactory in Austin and taken the tour on what Optimus is going to be able to do, I highly, highly suggest you make time to do it because it's incredible. And so you're going to be able to buy
We should take our driven people there.
We really should. Damn it.
It's a great idea.
That's a great idea. So for $149, I'm making that price tag up. They said it'd be anywhere from $99,000 to $10,000 depending on what it is. You'll be able to buy software that your Optimus will be able to plug into. By the way, there's no computer because your Optimus is a computer. Your Optimus will ask your permission to buy it. You'll say, yes, Optimus, your shit's already loaded in there.
Can I learn Spanish?
Charges your account. Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
I learned to play the
piano.
But
it'll download everything that I need to know about my home HVAC system to do the preventative maintenance on my HVAC system, or if it breaks. I mean, plumbing.
Yeah.
This is cleaning your pool.
There's already stuff going on now.
This is mind-blowing.
With augmented reality, virtual reality, where they're sending service technicians into the field for...
But you're not even going to need people anymore. Yeah. These are going to be robots that cost you $20,000 to $40,000. And guess what? They don't sue you when they get hurt. They don't get sick. They don't screw up.
We interrupt this pod to bring you this really special announcement. You need to go right now. Well, maybe do they want to go right now? Want to stop?
No, at the end. We don't want to have them stop.
Go to trainwreckshow.com. There's lots of bots there, GPT bots that do things for you, that do a lot of your work. So you don't have to work so much and drink more beer. The episode archives are over there. There's all of our resources, worksheets, workbooks. Everything that we've done that we give away is over there. Go get it right now. There's a lot of resources there. Way more resources than you get when you buy a lot of communities, I think.
And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can catch every episode as soon as it hits. We'll send you a notification.
It doesn't mean you're liking Emma, by the way, because I know that slows us down on our likes. You can just click and say, I like Perry. You don't have to like Emma. It works the same way. A premium only needs to be something that someone wants. You could do a toaster or a set of steak knives for any offer. It doesn't matter what it is. We actually, one of our clients was LifeLock back early in the day of LifeLock. Todd, I think was his last name. But they came to us to try to figure out how to sell more LifeLock. And we tripled the conversion rate of the LifeLock annual offers by offering a shredder, a little paper shredder that went on the top of your trash can as a premium when you bought LifeLock annual, because everybody was buying it monthly and they wanted to sell more annual. So by giving a premium, so it's a bribe you give, and then a bonus is
a bribe.
It's a bribe. Yeah, it's a bribe. And here's the thing about a premium. What makes the difference in a tripwire and a premium? The tripwire needs to identify the customer. The premium doesn't. The premium needs only be something people want. It doesn't have to have a damn thing to do with the product. My favorite premium story ever is Big O Tires in Florida. Because every year,
Big 10 Tires.
I thought it was Big O.
I'm pretty sure it's Big 10.
It might be Big 10. Yeah. But every year in January, they run this special because nobody buys tires in January. It's a tough month for January. So they run this special. If you buy tires in January, February, they'll send your girl a dozen roses on Valentine's Day. So they hit it right between the eyes. No dude wants to screw with that. Everybody forgets it. And the thing is, if tire store A is selling me tires and tire store B is selling me tires, but sending roses to my girl, guess what? I'm going to buy my tires at tire store B. And it's probably a very low cost for them to deliver on this service. So it's really interesting how it works. And then a bonus, you've all seen bonuses. Bonuses typically are at the end of an offer to sweeten a deal. And typically speaking, bonuses tend to be things related to the product, but they don't always have to be. One of my favorite bonus premium stories is Yannick Silver was selling a copywriting course. And had been selling a $2,000 copywriting course. He sold it forever and ever, and it was starting to slow down. And he had added all kinds of other courses to it, all kinds of other products to it, all kinds of other coaching things. Nothing would move the needle of conversion. And he did a coffee mug that said, "Kiss the coffee."
You drinking out of a Wonder Woman mug?
Somebody needs to have some feminine energy in this group. But he added a coffee mug that said, "Kiss the copywriter," and got a 4% bump on a $2,000 offer with a $2 coffee mug. Yeah. It's just really weird how people will do things
to get a thing that they can't buy.
And it's best that they can't buy it. Yeah. And you got to be, these people, for a bonus, it's different. On a bonus, you're putting it down to the bottom when you make your offer because you're looking to just push those people over the edge that they were right there. And they just needed one more little reason to buy. When you're using a premium, it's usually at the very top of the offer. It's subscribed to, join the NRA today and get this pocket knife free. The NRA has been using a pocket knife, or the ARP uses a fanny pouch thing, a fanny pack. All these different, the largest associations in the world, other than Costco. Costco is now the largest association in America. But the NRA and the ARP, if you go to join either one, they both have premiums when you join the membership. So we didn't have a premium on the membership, but we were getting about 20% of the people that brought the front end to go ahead and buy a membership for $17 a month, which was amazing, right? Because we were breaking even on the front. Now we get them to do the thing on the back. When we added a premium to the back of a big $119 hunting knife that we paid about $9 for, we direct imported, really good knife. But we gave them this. Now that you got the greatest, it was the best, most congruent upsell. We said, "Hey, congratulations, you just got the greatest little knife in America. Now we'd like to give you the greatest big knife in America when you join our thingy." And conversions went to 42% overnight on the front, doubled. So we just crushed it, and we built 70,000 members into that group at $17 a month in a matter of less than 6 months.
So if you had to build it again today?
Yeah, if I had to build, I'd do it exactly the same way. The only challenge is finding things that people want enough that are allowable by the advertising platforms to advertise. Now that was
the Wild Wild West days.
Yeah, it was Wild West, but we did this amazing kabuki makeup brush for our American Beauty Association. A kabuki makeup brush.
It's a kabuki makeup brush.
Yeah, we took the very best makeup brush on Amazon.
Okay.
Found out where they bought them.
Okay.
It was a $16 brush. We bought them for $1 from the factory in China. Right. And we gave them away free when people joined the American Beauty Association. We sold them as a tripwire, get this free plus shipping from the ABA. And then we had a set of makeup brushes, a big set of makeup brushes you got when you joined the association. Same, worked exactly the same way. The best premium on your membership offer or your secondary offer, it doesn't have to be membership, it can be almost anything, but your best premium is a bigger, better version of whatever your tripwire was. So if you stay consistent, because what do you know? You don't know very much about this person. You know, this person signed up to get a free knife. What do you know about them? They like knives. That's all you know. So if you say, hey, next up, you can get a ball cap, maybe they hate ball caps. You don't know, but you know they like knives. You can say, hey, here's a makeup brush. Now go get this pack of lipstick. You don't know if they like lipstick or not. Well, they like makeup brushes. So when you're building the perfect funnel in the tripwire model, you're typically 3 steps, right? You're doing a tripwire, a premium for some sort of membership or secondary thing like a course or whatever. And then third step, you do something called a Hail Mary, where you do a $200 or $300 offer that very few people are going to take. But it's okay, because when you get one, it's really nice. If you sell 100 front ends and you sell 30, let's say, main offers, you might sell 2 Hail Marys, but those 2 Hail Marys are $600. So Ryan used to call them slack adjusters, which they are. They're slack adjusters. They pick up the slack of the funnel. Mm-hmm. And that's just what you sell in the funnel. But when you're running this the right way, you have different follow-up series. So I always use a 2-step order form. So if somebody fills out step 1, name, address, and all that, but they don't fill out credit card, they get a series saying, hey, what are you doing? You didn't get your credit card knife. If the people buy the credit card knife but don't buy the other thing, we say, hey, what are you doing? You didn't get your big knife. Right. So we stack some benefit. If they bought the second but they didn't buy the third, we go, hey, welcome to the association, but you didn't get your leather bomber jacket. We want to give you $50 off of it right now if you want to get the leather bomber jacket or whatever. So you're running 3 different follow-up series on the back. And if you do this the right way, I know a guy right now that's built, one of our students actually, that took my model and did it with stickers.
Yeah.
He just has stickers for hiking and camping people, because they like putting stickers and patches on they're putting stickers on their vans, and they like putting patches on their backpacks. So he does just stickers and patches. And he's built like 17,000 people in a membership that way, and is doing $300,000 a month.
Yeah. Pretty good.
It's pretty good. So these offers really do work. The FedEx name was actually descriptive, but only to the people who knew FedEx.
Right.
Because the packages followed the federal check clearing system. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah.
No idea.
So there were planes back then. There were airplanes that flew checks. This is back, man, when I was you whippersnappers don't remember, but they're used to when checks actually got put into bags and got sent to the Federal Reserve Bank. It took 2 weeks to clear a check. I used to run businesses off floating checks. I'd write a check that I didn't have money for to buy merchandise that I had to sell before the check cleared back in the day. Wow. But they had a system of flying these checks on airplanes between banks to clear the checks. And Fred Smith rented space on those check clearing planes to carry his overnight packages. And that's how the whole thing was designed, around the hub and spoke system of the United States Postal Service and the bank check clearing system.
How interesting.
Yeah. So he named it Federal Express. So it had the implication of being a kind of pseudo-government agency. And it wasn't at all.
That's brilliant.
But it did say express. So it meant fast. And then they added the tagline when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. But if you look at Domino's Pizza, Domino's doesn't mean anything when it comes to pizzas. What's a domino have to do with pizza? But they had a nice icon. Everybody remembered the word domino. And they had a great tagline.
Right. Because clarity beats cleverness.
Right. Hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Maybe the greatest tagline ever written in the history of taglines. It's took the most commoditized product in the world and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar company. That he traded a Volkswagen for a $700 pizza oven to start that business. It's a great American success story. Just the power of a headline. But one of the things I think people really do forget is, after the name of the company and the name of the product, there's usually a unique mechanism that makes that product work, right? Naming that mechanism will set your branding off to a whole other level.
Give me some examples of that.
P90X, muscle confusion. They called it muscle confusion. You used all your micro muscles and your workouts changed every day.
So you didn't plateau or hit ceilings.
Right. Whether it was true or not, right? If you look at Mad
I
Men,
think it was proven to be very true.
if you look at Mad Men, right? They said Lucky Strikes, they're toasted. All tobacco was toasted. Or Falstaff beer, it's cold filtered. All beer is cold filtered. But they don't say it. Other companies don't say it. You know what I mean? Martha White flour, if you watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou, they called it the Pappy O'Daniel Flour Company, but it was really the Martha White Flour Company. And it's, go get yourself, you're going to make up a mess of biscuits. You need Martha White flour with hot rise. You know what hot rise was?
I have no idea but the way you said it.
Baking powder. They just put baking powder into flour.
Oh, wow.
And that made it, today still, there's self-rising flour.
Right. Is that all that means?
It's got baking powder and baking soda in it. It's normally when you baked, you had flour, you put in a little baking powder, put in a little baking soda, and you bake. If you buy self-rising flour,
I have no idea.
You don't bake, you don't clean. I'm sure there are all kinds of other things you don't do. But
I make enough money to not have to do some of those things.
But seriously though, this flour company, how can you be more commoditized than flour?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, very hard to do. But you need to name that mechanism, and naming those mechanisms will change everything. Like we had a company, I bought that water filter company called Fesco. And when we bought the company, I got on the phone and I called all the customers. We only had 80 customers. It was a wholesale business. They bought a lot. But I said, why do you buy from us? There's 10 competitors. We're the smallest. Why do you even buy from us at all? And they said, when everybody else is super busy, you guys aren't, so we can get our product faster. And okay, there's our USP now. So we changed our name to Rapid Filter. And
I love that you're going into this, because this brings me to my next question is, what if I realize my company's 5 years old, 6 years old, I'm doing well, but clearly I could be doing better. What do I do? Can I just change my name? Do I have to relaunch everything? Do I have to take everything down?
You damn right. You can change your name. And in rare exception, and I will give you a rare exception, because we know the rare exception. When you rebrand a business, you will almost always get a lift.
Yep.
Almost always. And sometimes it's really substantial. We took Fesco filters. We did our first trade show. Our colors were blue and yellow because guess what? Culligan, all the water filtration companies, blue and yellow. I'm like, okay, blue and yellow. We had a tornado swirl looking logo, which meant speed, and we called ourselves Rapid Filter. And we took a filter making machine to a trade show. And we wrote more sales in that trade show than they had written in the previous 10 years of that trade show. We had uniforms with the logo. Our colors we were wearing the same clothes, the same carpet. Everything worked. And all of a sudden, we were a big deal. And you know who felt it more than anyone? The employees. They felt this pride in it. And they felt newfound hope and newfound excitement. And if you name these things right, you'll get this whole surge, right? Now, let me tell you when not to do it. Don't buy an established business and then immediately change the name.
Right.
It's probably the dumbest thing you can do. And we know people who have done it, that'll buy a business and then say, now that I bought it and spent a lot of money.
And change everything.
Especially for a business that has no physical location, no serious foundation.
Right.
The only thing you could be paying for is a name.
Right.
Now, if you kill that name, you just deleted all your value, right? Day one. But I've watched so many people do it. They'll buy a restaurant and then change the name of the restaurant. What the hell would you do that for?
Why
not just start a restaurant? Start a restaurant. If you're going to start from scratch. But when you're working on these, now a lot of times what I'll do, this is an interesting little strategy. I don't really teach this, but I will create NewCo. And we did this with Rapid Filter. Let's say today I buy Fesco filters. right? And I'm going to rebrand. I don't rebrand. I create Rapid Filter, Nuco, and then I put out a press release that Rapid Filter, that Fesco Filters has been acquired by Rapid Filter for an undisclosed sum. Now, we've got a reason to call all of our customers. We've got a reason to tell them about a new direction that we're taking or a new resources we have or whatever the case may be due to the acquisition. It's pretty smart.
It's very smart.
And it'll give you a whole whitewashing. If you've got customers mad at you,